Yeah, so in view of this COVID-19 situation, our Secretary General made inquiries from the Director General of Health and what steps we have to take under such situation, the guidelines, etc. So accordingly, we went to the Health Ministry and met the Director General and his team, and we had an initial discussion. And at the discussion, they informed us they will send a team headed by the Deputy Director General to make an observation. I mean, it's like an to see what really the setup is. So right. So then accordingly they sent the team about 3-4 weeks back, and they studied the situation at the setup here. And after studying that, they went back, and now they have drawn a separate guideline for the parliamentary complex. So accordingly, under that, they have given guidelines relating to the gallery, chamber, the restaurants, the committee rooms, the dressing rooms, and they have covered almost all the areas. And they have given guidelines how we should arrange those places and what health measures we have to take. Now, with regard to the staff, we have already taken all possible measures, but according to the guidelines, right? Even the restaurants are function according to the guidelines. So even the sanitization process, all that we have done our best, right? But with regard to the members, now they are newly appointed, and this is the 9th Parliament. First session we are going to have on the 20th, but they are unaware of these things. That's why we are trying to educate them through the media and what steps they have to take when they arrive in Parliament on the 20th and thereafter, right? Not only the 20th, and even thereafter, until the health authorities tell us that we don't need to no more following of such guidelines, right? So under the guidelines, now when the member enters Parliament, he has to allow our staff to measure his temperature, right? That is the condition 1. Then from the time he enters until he leaves, or at the time he takes his meal, right, he has to wear the face mask. And if he is going to speak even, right, he has to still wear the mask and make his speech. But on the first day, the thing is, we don't do any seating arrangement. We don't reserve seats, because there's under the standing orders 312, there is no necessity, because that is because on the first day we don't have a speaker, because what I prepare, the seating plan has to be approved by the Honorable Speaker, right? So that may be the reason why they have allowed the members to have a free seating, right? So the government members, they come and sit in the government benches, and the opposition in their opposition benches. But now this time there's another issue. The government is having 145, and there are another 5 people or 6 people joining government, and accordingly 30 to 35 people, they'll have to take their seats in the opposition side, right? So now they are going to have a ceremonial meeting after the morning session. That's at 3 o'clock. So I'll be able to have the seating plan ready by that time. So the speaker is appointed, I can get the speaker's approval. Now coming back to that your query with regard to the COVID issue. Now the other guidelines, on that day they can sit where they are going to sit, right? They'll have to remain in that, right? So then the second day, once I allocate the seat, hereafter they have to be in their seat. The assigned seat, they'll have to sit. They can't just roam around and go and sit in other people's seats. Also, they say whenever they are not in the seat, right? When he is inside the chamber, to try to maintain the 1 meter distance, because now between 2 seats there is no 1 meter. There is only 2.5 feet. So that may be the very reason why they want the member while speaking also to have the face mask, right? So that's another guideline. And also now this time there are new members and they have got appointed, reappointed, and they come with the joyful mind, and they will try to hug each other, to shake hand each other, right? So the health authorities have asked them not to do so, to refrain from such things. So it's up to the members actually. Now we are following the guidelines, but it's up to the members to follow these things. And also there's a guideline for them to use their personal equipment, like the personal iPad or the laptop or the mobile phone, right? So without using our common equipment. Even if they want to use the common equipment, what they say is, the guideline says that they should sanitize their hands before using and after using. And another guideline, that's a general guideline for the parliament, that we have to sanitize the entire area, entire chamber and the lobby areas before we commence the parliament sittings, every day. And also including the cleaning of, sanitizing of the microphones, the tables and the chairs where they will sit, right? So those are the main guidelines given to us. And with regard to the gallery, that we have to maintain the 1 meter distance. So because of that, we have 674 gallery seats, but this time, under this situation, only 300 can be accommodated. So because of that, this time I am only issuing one gallery pass per member. Yeah, that also for a family member. But there is no hard and fast such thing like that. But if the member is unmarried or something like that, he can give it to a father or the mother or one of his best friends. So, but each one has to give the full name and the identity card number. In case of some unforeseen thing, we have to trace the people who had come here. President has the power to preside at a ceremonial meeting. This is not a ceremonial opening. Ceremonial opening happens if the president prorogue a session and reconvene another session. So then only the ceremonial opening happens. But this particular thing happened in 2015 also, and even 2-3 times before, right? So what happens is the president will arrive. We have an agenda according to that program, and around 2:55 the quorum bells will start ringing. So the members gather, and at 3 o'clock I escort HE and the speaker to the chamber, and the now we replace the current speaker's chair with the HE's chair that has that HE's emblem, right? So speaker will take the chair in the lower seats with the Secretary General. And this time the president will make deliver like the government policy statement, right? So some media, they say the Rajasana Katava. No more Rajasana Katavas. Those that happened during the Governor General's time. But this is the presentation of the government policy statement to the Parliament, right? So that happens. Then thereafter he will adjourn the Parliament. There's no debate on that. Later on they can have something. But on that time he will adjourn for another date. Then thereafter everything finishes, and there will be a tea party. And then, but this time HE has specifically instructed us not to have the guard of honor. Guard of honor, no gun salute, no street lining, right? It's only a simple ceremony. What happens is HE comes in his motorcade. It's not that ceremonial motorcade, right? He comes in the normal motorcade. He gets alighted at the main steps, of the Parliament, where the red carpet will be laid, and the Speaker and the Secretary General will receive them, right? Then we will be escorting, myself and my deputies will escort HE to the building. So once he enters the building, we have arranged the Jayamangala Gatha, baby of Jayamangala Gatha girls. So they will recite about 4 to 5 verses of the Jayamangala Gatha to greet him and give blessings to the HE. Then thereafter they withdraw. Then again we escort him to the roving room. Right? So they will remain there for about, I think according to the program, there's about 10 minutes. So after that, once the quorum bell starts ringing, so once it stops, after 5 minutes, I escort HE, Speaker, Secretary General and the rest to the chamber. Then headed by, in front of me, my deputy will march, right? And he will go and announce to the chamber the arrival of HE in a loud voice, Garu, Atigaru Janadipatituma. So yeah, we will face numerous problems in the future, but we have to address one by one. We have to address. We don't know whether all members will abide by these things, and they are privileged a lot, and we can't force them But under the guidelines, to an extent, yes, we can, because that is for their own safety. So, and the thing is the cleaning process. Our housekeeping department have a big challenge. So not like those days, every day, everything, every doorknob has to be clean and sanitized. So that's a challenge actually. So from March we took that challenge, and now the entire building was sanitized with the assistance of the MOH at Bataramulla and the PHI officers. They came here and they did, and we not only that, we went to the extent of even the dengue. We called the dengue inspectors, and they also did a study, and they said this is dengue free. So that way we are very fortunate, and there will be a lot of challenges in the future. Now from the day this epidemic came, we stopped all the visitors coming here. So that will continue for some time. Even the school children, right? So that's what I say, until the health authorities clearly says that you are free from these guidelines and you can come back to your normal situation. So under such situation, we will inform the public that anyone can come and watch the proceedings as earlier. But at the moment, no visitors. And even the officials now, even our Secretary General is trying his level best to conduct the virtual meetings, committee meetings. And even in other parliaments world round, they only call the most relevant people for that particular day for the meeting. So like now, if it is a subject on some issue, so the government and the opposition agrees to bring their people who are going to speak on the matter and whoever who are interested. So they are in the UK Parliament, I heard that they have restricted to 60 numbers per day, right? So I don't know whether it will happen here. That's a matter for them to consider.